We've seen how geospatial data uses attribute tables to add more information to a feature. Often these attributes can be used to group similar features into groups. For instance, you might have lots of buildings in a feature class. If there's a type attribute in the table, you can tell which ones were single-family homes and easily separate them from the fast food restaurants. This is called classification, and we can symbolize features on the map based off of similar attributes. To take a look at this, I'm going to expand the Databases folder and then the Yosemite GeoDatabase, and I want to add a new layer to our Yosemite map based off of wilderness type. We'll go ahead and grab this layer and drag and drop it at the bottom of the layer stack right above the World Topographic Map. That adds a new layer to our map and it actually fills up the entire screen, so let's go ahead and right click on it and choose Zoom to Layer, so we'll zoom out so we can see the entire layer. Now right now, everything in our wilderness layer is being symbolized with the same color, this kind of lavender purple color. Instead, what I want to do is symbolize this wilderness area based off of the wilderness category that each polygon represents. In order to get a better feel for the data though, let's go up to the contextual tab called Data, and then I'll click on Attribute Table to open up the attributes for this file. That opens up its own tab here at the bottom of the interface. I'm going to click on the name and drop it in the center target area to align it with the map tab across the top of the screen. That'll give us more room to see what's going on in this layer. In this wilderness dataset, we have lots of individual polygons. One of the attributes in this table is this column called Name. If I click on the Name column and then right click on it and sort it ascending, it's going to sort all of the polygons based off of their name classification. Then we can easily scroll through this list to see what the different wilderness classifications are. We have some polygons that represent non-wilderness areas, some that represent potential wilderness areas. If I scroll down, we'll see a couple that represent reservoirs, and a couple of polygons that represent wilderness. So even though we have lots of polygons in this dataset, there's actually only 4 wilderness classifications that apply. I want to be able to visualize those in the map. Let's go ahead and close the attribute table by pressing the X in the tab. Then, on the Appearance tab, we'll take a look at the bottom portion of the Symbology button. That'll reveal lots of different ways that we can symbolize this layer. It's currently using a single symbol, which means the same symbology will apply to every polygon in the dataset. Instead, what I want to choose is Unique Values. That'll draw categories using unique values of one or multiple fields. Let's choose that option, and that'll open up the Symbology pane on the right side of the screen. The field that we wanted to symbolize our polygons based off of was called Name. I'll go ahead and use this drop-down menu and choose Name from the list. That'll apply the 4 different classifications that we saw down on the bottom, and we can see which color represents each section. We can choose different color schemes from this menu here. Now I actually can't see the drop-down portion of this, so I'm going to make my Symbology pane just a little bit wider by dragging this bar to the left. Now I can see the drop-down portion, and I can choose from available color themes that come pre-built into ArcGIS Pro. I'll scroll to the bottom and choose this one called Random Color Scheme, which is nice pastel colors here. When I do that, the new color scheme gets randomly applied to our 4 wilderness classifications. I can further refine the colors being applied to each classification by clicking on the individual color patches here. When I do that, that'll open up the Format Polygon symbol, where we can choose from the gallery, or go into Properties to have finer control. Just like we saw with our line and point styles, we can choose from different colors, outline colors, and if I scrunch down our preview a little bit, we can see we also have access to an outline width, which is the line around the perimeter. Right now, all of the polygons in this feature class are being symbolized with a gray outline that's 0.7 points wide. I want to make these gray outlines coordinate with the interior colors of each polygon. So this first polygon is kind of a lavender color. I'm going to pick a slightly darker color, maybe this one here called Pacific Blue. I'll see a preview down at the bottom and I'll press Apply. That'll update the symbology in the map section. Then I can press the back button to return back to the symbology for the entire wilderness layer. And we'll click on the next one down here for potential wilderness. It's kind of this aqua color in the fill, so let's go ahead and choose a darker aqua color for the boundary. Maybe this one here, Apatite Blue. And when we like that color, go ahead and press Apply. We'll press back. We'll do the same thing for the reservoir. Right now it's kind of a similar color as one of our other symbol patches, so let's go ahead and change this up. Let's go ahead and choose a yellow color for the reservoir. And for the outline color, we'll choose a darker color, maybe this one here. And we'll press Apply. Finally, I'll press back one more time, and we'll change the symbol patch for our wilderness. This time, instead of pink, I'm going to choose a light green color. And for the outline color, I'll choose a darker green. We'll press Apply, and then go back, and we can see those updates in the map. So now I'm happy with the color patches that I've chosen for my wilderness areas, The last thing I want to do is take a look in the content section. We can see that we currently have a header here called name. That's because the field that we're symbolizing these based off of is called name in the attribute table. We can change what appears in the contents pane and also what appears on a map legend when we create those later on by changing this value here at the top of the symbol patches. Instead of just name, I'm going to call this wilderness classification. That'll better define what these categories are in the contents pane. When you're done working with the symbology for the wilderness layer, you can simply change back to the project pane. And if you want to come back and make more edits, select the layer, and then switch over to the symbology pane to continue working. So that's how you can use unique value symbology for the datasets that you work with. By leveraging the attributes already present in the feature class, you can develop a map that makes the differences apparent.